Mark.
Hello Internet, my name is Lave and I finally watched The Disaster Artist, which is directed by and stars James Franco, who's telling the story of how Greg Sestero met Tommy Wiseau and together how they made what is widely considered to be the best worst movie ever made, The Room. So before I get into it, I've got to talk about The Room. It's something that I've been aware of for a long time. I've seen the YouTube clips of it and all of the memes, but I've never actually seen the film, and that's because when people say that a film is so bad it's good, when I watch them I tend to think, no, they're just bad. So in anticipation of this coming out, I thought I've got to see the whole thing. So a couple of weeks ago I did sit down and watch it, and yeah, it is so bad it's good. There's no other way to describe it. It's so incoherent, so weird. It's hilarious, and I completely understand why it has this cult status. So now James Franco and all of his mates are making a film about how the film was made. Now, what I really like about it is that while it does explore how The Room was made, which is a lot of fun, it's very funny, the focus on the film is actually between the friendship between Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero, who actually wrote a book about his experiences of it. So that means that this film is all seen through Greg's eyes as he gets swept up into Tommy's world, and it's really their passion and shared dream of becoming famous that you really latch on to this film, and actually where all of the drama comes from as well, as their friendship and loyalty to each other is put to the test the deeper they get into making their own film. So who is this Tommy Wiseau? Well, interestingly, this film doesn't try to answer that. Instead, it just adds to his enigma, highlighting the fact that he doesn't want people to know his real age or where he's from. He keeps insisting that he's from New Orleans, and also the fact that he seems to have a bottomless pit of money, which is how he funds their own project. It's really weird. This film is sort of doing for Tommy Wiseau what The Dark Knight did for the Joker. It's not explaining his origins or who he is. Instead, it's just exploring his rise, or rather his fall, however you want to see it, before his ultimate rise. And despite the fact that he is a peculiar guy with so many oddities, you can't help but admire his drive and determination and passion to succeed. One character even calls him at one moment in this film fearless, and he completely is. He's ignorant, but he is fearless. And James Franco does do a really good job as Tommy. He captures his accent and his mannerisms. On a few occasions, I was thinking, okay, this is just James Franco pretending to be Tommy. I thought it was interesting that in the scenes where he's directly recreating scenes, he absolutely nails it. But there are other scenes which I feel might have been ad-libbed, where you think, oh, that's James Franco pretending to be Tommy Wiseau. And he is getting all of the plaudits, not only for his performance, but because of the fact that he also directed, and he does a good job. I like his whole approach to this, but really, for me, the heart and soul of the film is actually his brother, Dave Franco, who's playing Greg. He's the heart and soul of this film. I wouldn't say he's a spitting image of the real Greg Sestero, but he's got a really good personality and he's a good character in this, despite the fact that he hasn't got much talent himself. And it's the chemistry between him and Tommy that really sells this film. They do a fantastic job together. On top of that, the film has got a really good 90s, early 2000s soundtrack, and there are some celebrity cameos in there. Some of them are playing themselves as they were back then, but there are also celebrities playing people involved in making the film. And I really got a sense that everyone involved in making this film were doing it out of love. They weren't laughing at The Room, they were laughing with it. So that's my thoughts on The Disaster Artist, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. It's a really funny film. I was laughing consistently throughout. It wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be, but then I was really surprised at how invested I was in the characters, particularly when they actually premiere their film. I was sitting there genuinely worried about Tommy's reaction, all cringy like, oh my god. So the film did its job and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it's not a top 10 of the year film for me. It's good, but it's not amazing. I have no question in my mind that fans of The Room are gonna love it, but I'd really be interested to see someone who hasn't seen The Room, who knows absolutely nothing about it, to see what they think of this. I bet you they would think, actually, I want to check that out. So I guess the film has done its job. But then right at the end of the film, you do get side-by-side comparisons to show the level of detail they went into to recreate the scene, so I guess it's not really necessary. So thanks very much for watching my review of The Disaster Artist. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give this video a like, and don't forget to share the Lave. Oh, bye, Mark. I had to end it like that. Subscribe.